Hey everyone, welcome to Buzzing About Romance. I am Becky, and this episode is proudly brought to you by Jamie Albright and her laugh out loud rom-com, Running from the Rockstar. Running from the Rockstar is available now in Kindle Unlimited. You can also get it in audiobook and paperback. Brace yourself for a wild ride through the pages of this wake-up married small town romance. Joining me for this episode are Jenny. Hey, Jenny.
Hi, Becky.
And Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
And Leah. Hello, Leah.
Hello.
So it's kind of been a little bit of a busy bookish weekend for us on this 3-day holiday, right?
Yep.
Last night we got to have the watch party for Gina Azee, and that was adorable. So if you haven't watched that, you should go check out A Scottish Love Scheme on Hallmark. But we are back with a romance term of the week.
Oh, yay.
Yay, we haven't done one in a minute.
These. What is it?
So the romance...
I mean, we could look, but that'd be easy.
I was going to say, you all have dogs.
I
know,
I'm pulling it up
now. I'm pulling it up
Just
now. Sorry.
Wait, what happened here? You all
I
have a
know.
dog. Romance term of the week. So this is actually inspired by a conversation that Leah and I were having. And it's a term that we sometimes throw around. And I quickly realized that unless you are working on the backside of publishing or you are a English lit major, you might not have a true understanding of what we're talking about. So romance term of the week this week is showing versus telling. So if we say this author did a lot of showing and I really wanted more telling, this is what we're talking about. So when someone says a book does a lot of showing, they're likely referring to the storytelling technique of showing rather than telling. And in literature, showing involves presenting details, actions, and emotions through vivid and descriptive language, allowing readers to experience and interrupt the story, or interpreting the story themselves. This approach engages the reader's imagination, encourages them to draw conclusions based on the presented information. This is a lot of times where readers can misinterpret miscommunication and angst because the author isn't showing us enough. On the other hand, telling is going to be a more straightforward and provide information directly to the reader without allowing them to infer or visualize the details. It often involves stating facts, summarizing events. It also is going to be a more banter, dialogue heavy book if they're doing a lot of telling. You're going to have a lot more first person narrative versus, I don't know about you. When you walk in a room, especially if we're reading first person point of view romances, if you walk in a room, in your brain, do you describe what the room exactly looks like? Or do you say to the host, oh my gosh, I really like your, flowered curtains?
It depends on the situation in the room.
Yeah, because I was like, I categorize everything automatically, but I'm like, pretty sure that's my neurodivergence.
I think that's just the spiciness of Jenny.
No.
It depends on where I'm at and why I'm walking into the room, what my reaction is and how I deal with it.
That's fair. That is fair. So it's, I don't know. Do you have one way you prefer a story over another? Are you a telling person or do you want the showing?
I want the balance,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm assuming you're talking about you're walking into a new room you've never been in before.
Yeah.
So I just want a little information about what the room looks like overall, and then my brain just automatically imagines what it looks like, but I don't need to know what kind of fabrics on the chair.
Because you want to pick the fabrics on the chairs.
Right. You could say it's a leather chair or a dark brown leather chair, but I don't need to know
that it's cracked or
yes, yeah,
or it's catty corner to the white picket like
Yes.
window. I don't even know where I got
Yeah,
that.
because you could say like a worn leather chair instead of like
Mhm.
a cracked one.
Windows are picketed?
I don't even know.
They're
I was
maybe they have bars. And Leah
They
wants
might
it
have
to sound
bars.
better.
Maybe.
It
Maybe.
depends on the area you live in. There could be picketed bars on your windows. I was thinking like fence, but then I remembered we were in a room and not outside. And I'm like, oh wait,
I will
that
say that
doesn't
if a
work.
book gets overly descriptive, so if an author is doing a lot of showing in a story, I tend to skip the descriptive parts and just go straight to the dialogue.
I think for me though, it depends on the author. Like there are some authors that I read that I enjoy the way in which they show those like elements of the story because they have a really good like grasp on giving it a dynamic and creative perspective. And so it doesn't bug me as much as
Yeah.
whether it's like the brown chair sat next to the window. You know what I mean? Like it's all on how they create the showing, whether or not it bugs me or not.
Well, there is a full article over at bookcasemedia.com about showing versus telling. So if you would like to learn more about that concept, you can go over there and check that out. So this is a new year, new episode, new season of Buzzing About Romance. This is the first time we're recording an episode in 2024.
Oh,
It is.
It is.
It's
We've done a
weird.
couple, like Amanda's like, wait, Becky, we've talked like 17 times.
We have talked, but we
Well,
have not
yes.
recorded.
She and I have
These
done
are
a lot of
quick
quick
shots.
shots.
Yeah.
Well, those don't count because it's
Right,
not
yep.
technically an episode.
So this is our first episode recording of 2024. So year 4 of the podcast, you guys. How exciting is this, right?
Yay.
It's kind of crazy that it's been that long.
Right? It is. So on this episode, it's New Year and time for new reads. We're going to talk about all the books we are excited about in 2024. We'll also talk about some new to us authors that we're excited to check out. We'll also kind of talk about our reading goals, some things that we hope to do better in 2024. We're just laying the groundwork. We might also talk about some of the things we might focus on here at the podcast in 2024. You know, we've been compiling a list,
Lots of lists.
Mulling
Almost
ideas.
mulling ideas, right?
Shower ideas at that.
Yeah, those are the best.
But you know
I
what
was
though?
yelling into my phone my shower idea that I texted you all yesterday, and Mike's like, "Who you talking to?"
But
And
what
I'm
I
like,
love though is I
shower
am not
idea.
the only one who gets the shower ideas now.
It's a
Everybody
good one.
does.
It
It
was
was
a,
a good one.
I
It
thought
really
it
was.
was.
But I like the fact that you shared that wealth. Like it wasn't just a shower idea for Leah.
No, it wasn't. It's a shower idea for everybody. Everybody gets shower ideas now. Okay, so let's talk about first up, new year. Are we setting reading goals this year?
No.
I did. I put it a lot lower, but I have to give myself some kind of baseline.
I'm not. It's bugging me because Goodreads is constantly asking me,
Right?
would
Yeah.
you like to set a goal? And I'm like, 5. But I don't want to look at that. I think last year I hit my goal, but really Christmas novellas helped me hit my goal last year. There's
there
no
were
way I
some
would have
good
hit my
ones.
goal because by September I was starting to slump and have a little bit of burnout and I was busy and there were so many things. So I guess I could set a goal of like 100. But my goal for 2024 when it comes to my reading is I just want to be a better, more intentional consumer with my
Mhm.
books.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel the rush like, oh, it's, I have to get a book a day in kind of thing, or I'm not going to make my goal or whatever.
Well, and I haven't read a book a day in like 2 weeks, which is real weird for me. So like I know like my goals that I used to set like are nowhere near what my goal like this year would be. But we have so many other balls in the basket currently that I'm like, I don't have the time to read as much as I want to, which kind of stinks. But at the same time, it's good because it's like good things in the back end. But
Well, and I think too, a lot of us I mean, I've always been a reader, and I would say even previous to 2020, I was reading a book to
Mhm.
one a day to two a day, um, or one book within 2 days. But, obviously the world slowed down in 2020,
Mhm.
and now the world is not slowing down.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes I feel like we're trying to make up for the time we
Mhm.
missed. And I'm just like, did we not learn anything?
yeah,
Well, and that's the thing, like during COVID, like I read a ton, but like my kids were home 24/7. Like we literally couldn't go anywhere. So it's like, and they were doing school, so I couldn't be like do normal stuff when they were doing school because like if I was loud, then that was distracting to them. And like so like during their school day, I basically sat and read or did quiet activities for myself because I had to make sure that they were focused. And so like I read 3 times as much during COVID, like those 2 years, than I usually do.
yeah. So that's, I think, my part of stepping back from a reading goal. There are other kind of micro goals that I want to do, like be a more intentional reader, like,
Hmm.
really consume the book and not just read the book.
Yeah.
Um, and then also, it's a topic that we talked about a little bit last year, but I do want to do better and be more intentional of reading across the romance genre. So, last year I had said that I wanted to do more paranormal and more sci-fi romances and monster romances. Well, I hit my stride in the monster romances.
And the
Like,
doors and
we're all
those
there.
balloon animals.
We're all there, right? Um, and you all are reaping the awards. But I didn't really get into PNR, and my
Mhm.
alien is just a little like I'm still, unless it's bunnies and chicks that are the aliens. I haven't fully gone into aliens. So I
Do
want
we know? Like,
And
do we
things are
know what the
pastel.
aliens look like? So it's possible,
right.
right?
So I
No,
want
I'm
to do
still kind
that.
of remiss you have not read The Horde
I
yet.
read book 1 in the Horde,
When?
like back in 2022 or early
I don't
2023 when you
I
right
don't
after you
recall
got
this
done.
conversation.
Okay. Because I keep making fun of you with the tail.
Oh, that's right. But the tail, like, it has a purpose.
It,
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
that's okay. And then the other thing is obviously more diversely, but I have a little bit of a caveat here. Oftentimes people
Mm.
think we have to read more diversely, and they're just thinking we're talking about BIPOC voices. But I am talking about doing better with queer, disabled rep, and um BIPOC, like all three. So um those are things that I want to do better in 2024. What about you, Jenny? No reading goal, but what are some of your
No.
other?
Um, basically the same as yours. Like, being more intentional about what I'm reading. Like, not finishing bad books, which I did much better about in 2023. Like, why
Mhm.
am I reading this crap? Like, there's plenty of other things. Yeah, and reading more diverse. Like, I try, but it's very easy to just like go back to your comfort zone.
It is. And Jenny says her goals are the mine because Jenny is just pretty much reading my TBR.
Yeah.
No, you
I,
read a book and then you say, Jenny, read this.
and I
It's not
read
even your
it now
TBR.
because
Every time you say that, I'm like the pressure of making sure.
this book is done.
um Leah, what are some of your goals 2024?
Um, Also, I DNF'd a lot in 2023, which is surprising because I am not typically a DNFer, but it's just basically that, like be more cognizant of like what I'm reading, why I'm reading it, like what is the purpose of like this story for me. Like not that like I need that all the time because we all know that I love a short, dirty novella that just like makes me feel happy. But at times, like there are a couple books that I read and it's like the story was great, but it's like I felt dumber like after I read it because it was fine and the story was great and it took me out of like the moment. But then I was like, oh man, like why? Why did I read this?
Might that have been the whole stepdaddy step
Oh no, those are
naughtiness you went into?
delightful. Freaking delightful. There is no like I feel dumber for this. I'm like I need more of this. Well, there's another one coming out in that step like Santa series. It's called Step Sinners. So the step brother is like works at like a school for troubled girls, and the stepsister gets like sent to him. He's never been tempted before, and he's going to be tempted. It's delightful. They are super taboo. They're by Danny Wyatt. If you haven't read her, she likes a taboo story. They're a little bonkers, but they're delightful and they're short. And I know, but again, people like my red flags in real life are not my red flags in my romance books.
I just do judge you harshly when you're like, but no, they're delightful. Like, I do judge you, just so you know.
That's fine. I mean, I judge you for your turkey dressing like shifter stuff too. Not that it's
Fever
not
dream.
delightful at the same
It was a
time.
fever dream and a door shifter.
Well, I
By
might
the way,
judge you,
did
but I'm still
you
gonna
see
read
the
it.
paperback on the door shifter that the spine
Yes,
has the hinges?
the hinges. It's awesome.
Jenny's like, what?
You
Let
haven't
me just
seen it?
tell you.
Did you see like there's that one guy like Easy Cat on Instagram, I think is his name.
Yeah.
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 He got the books and he was like he was in love with these things. Yeah, I saw that because I found his video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
no,
Merritt got the I think
Merritt
Merritt got
bought it.
unhinged. Yeah.
she did. She was
I've-
very excited.
Amanda,
Because honestly, if it's weird, Merritt's gonna read it.
I mean, true story. We had a whole discussion about tentacles today, Merritt and I. Amanda, what are some of your goals for 2024?
I did set a number, but it is like 150 lower than my number last year. I hit my goal last year, but I was very cognizant of it the whole time I was reading, and I don't want to have to look at it and think about it, and just so I just set
You don't
one to
wanna
set
chase it.
one. Yeah. And also I definitely want to read more diversely this year. We've all been kind of like talking about that behind the scenes and working on lists and everything. So I think the TBR is big for that this year.
Mhm.
I definitely want to, like I said, I think before that I want to be better at writing reviews after I read a book. I
Mhm.
haven't done that so well yet so far because I went down an Aurora Rose Reynolds rabbit hole and I've just been binging. So, but I have written reviews for the stuff I'm not binging, but
I mean, you could write a whole series review about
I'm
it,
going
though.
to. Yeah, I will for the whole series, but it's like 20 books later when I finally finish it, maybe. So, I mean, I'm probably like 13 in at this point.
Whose book are
I
you
think.
on?
I'm about to, I'll be on May next.
Mhm.
So,
I have to admit, and I will tell Aurora Rose Reynolds this, but May is my least favorite of the series.
oh, is she? Yeah, I didn't love April, so I'm giving it a break for a minute, but
I read May.
we'll
That's
see.
the soccer player one, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's when she was in her Montlake Funk.
Yeah, you
Oh,
could kind of
okay.
tell. But
But-
Until Willow was very good.
So if
And
you want
that
to skip
launches the new
May and go
series.
straight to Willow, then you can do that.
I'm
And then
not
you
a
can go
skipper.
back. I know you're
I'm
not,
not.
but
Yeah, I was like, I don't think she's gonna do that.
no,
No,
that's like
sorry.
blasphemous in Jenny's world. But
They're short enough that it's not a big deal.
and it's not that May is bad. It's just not like the bread and butter of like December or like November or any of those original
Yeah.
ones.
She's a filler.
So Amanda said something
Mhm.
about writing reviews after she reads a book, and there's a comment about, I wish I knew how to write reviews. And honestly, 3 or 4 sentences, 2 or 3 sentences that just say, I really liked this book. This is what was really great about it. Or this book made me feel. That's plenty. Because honestly, sometimes I only read those 2 or 3 star reviews. And
Yeah. Oh,
the 2
yeah.
or 3 sentence ones just to get like, holy crap, this book was hot. Like, awesome. I'm in.
There are too many F-bombs and too much sex on this page.
I'm usually in too on those.
Yeah, those are the ones we put on our to be read shelf.
Well, and a lot of times my reviews, it's something that I would verbatim tell like everybody like why they should read it. Like if we're doing like a group text or something like that, or one of these like chats, then it's how I would like tell you guys to read the book. That's how I do my reviews.
Right. I would say that's like something I struggle with. It's like sometimes I get like too summary without giving plot away. And I'm like, I would not read this. Like, why am I writing this? Like,
I always tell people I don't want a book report. I want a review. So I just need to know how you felt, how the story went, and would you recommend this to your friend? Should I read it?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so how do you find, so let's go to new authors, because this is like a big thing right now. We're sponsoring the New to You Author Challenge. So how do you guys find new authors? Currently, what I have done, and it's a little unhinged, shocking, right? I am really moving towards audiobooks for right now, just because of my life. And I have a couple of narrators that I really, really enjoy. So Wesley Chabon is a narrator that I love. She reads the Blind Date with a Book Boyfriend novellas that are our book club pick. And I love her. And so in the Hoopla app, you can search via narrator. So I went looking for Wesley Chabon, and she tends to read BIPOC authors because she is a BIPOC narrator herself. And that is where I found that Holding by Alexandria House, which was phenomenal. Black author, Black characters. He plays hockey. It was a second chance, great mental health rep, and a phenomenal audiobook. I really loved it. So that is one way that I use to find new to me authors, is start with something that's tried and true for me, like a narrator. But Amanda, how do you find new authors?
I mean, honestly, I get a lot of them from you guys. I mean, seriously, like the podcast or, just us group chatting.
All
That
of Becky's
some of
unhinged
my other,
screenshots.
yeah, those. And then, I have a couple of my friends that I get recs from. Another friend of mine, her name is also Amanda. Like, we read a lot of the same type of books. So if she finds something new, she'll send it to me and vice versa. And then a lot of it, I'll go to authors that I read and see who they're reading. Like that's a big one for me. I know Susan Stoker always talks about who she's reading. Then Natalie Kenya, I think I got a couple from her. And then Kennedy Ryan is always like shouting out other authors, so I try to do that. That gets me a lot of stuff that I like.
Kennedy Ryan's great about that. I actually sent you a screenshot
of
a video that she did where she lists authors that just because she didn't have a book out in 2023, these authors did, and these books were really great in her opinion. And I was like, screenshot. TBR.
Yeah, I think you were talking about Alexandria House, and I actually was on a rabbit hole search of her books, and I actually have one of those up to read. It's an older book of hers, but I was looking at her basketball stuff, and it said, oh, these characters appear in a previous series. So I went and searched out that series and found like one I want to read. So that's up probably soon for me.
Yeah, basketball romances aren't something we get a ton of. Versus
and I like them when they're done well. So that is also on my list this year. I want to get some more basketball romances.
Jenny, how do you find new authors? And if you just say whatever Becky tells me, I am going to shake you.
But she was.
I was like, oh, but I'm gonna see her this week, and like she could harm me. Yeah, like that's a lot of it is like, you guys know what I like. And Discord is a great, like our Discord channel is a great place. Like, especially if you're looking for something very specific quickly, like you just have like a craving for like some type of trope. Like usually somebody's going to give you a rec pretty quickly.
Yeah. What about you, Leah? How do you find new authors?
Well, all of those things, but also I'll go into authors' worlds that I like Aurora Reynolds' Until World, or like and like read authors that I haven't read that are writing books in that world, and like some are hits and some are misses, but like I'll find new authors by just visiting a world that I like a lot.
That's smart.
And so
That was really helpful when Kakihiro was producing new books. I did find quite a few new to me authors during their run, but I think they're pretty much done.
yeah, they actually sold like gave the rights back to most of their
Authors.
authors.
Mhm.
Um, okay. If you are going and looking for a new author, what are you specifically looking for? Sometimes I find it easiest to read an author with a trope that I love. Like a
Mhm.
new to me author, I'm not
You're not doing
picking
a
up a
Friends to
Friends to
Lovers.
Lovers from a new to me author
Right.
because it's going to make it really hard. But if it's a single dad or an over the top hero or a secret baby, then probably
Mm.
yes.
Yeah, I would say I look even for like those broader things like a rock star or I mean, you can find 10,000 hockey books. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't typically pick up a new author from a hockey book, to be
right. But if
honest.
that's what you're looking for, like you
Mhm.
could very easily find a new author every other day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I certainly am not looking for faceless covers. Those are the authors that get on the
Oh
no
my
thank you
God.
list.
Yeah,
I am
how long did it
s-
take us? 27 minutes.
Way to mark the time. I did not bring up lube. I brought up faceless.
I mean, you did
Uh,
just mention lube, so
I
it doesn't count
did.
anymore.
Whatever.
But no, seriously,
we're just kidding.
let's not even talk about that. But yeah, it's one of those things like you just either well, and like if it's in a world, like you find like a character connected to a character that you really like, so you're like, ooh, how is this like
Yeah.
relationship there?
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely don't pick up a trope that I don't love from a new author because I mean,
It just makes it hard because you've already are like, that's already a mark against it,
you
right?
have a bias against it
Yeah.
already.
Right.
Yeah,
I
going
don't know
in.
that person's writing. And I feel that way. And that brings me to the next thing is giving an author another try.
Wait,
Um,
Stacy just said we need a live episode bingo board, and it's totally true. We do.
We might. I
Let's write that down.
when you get you so
It's a good idea.
give an author another try. But first, you get a commercial because now you interrupted me.
You're welcome.
So picture this. You're a small town Sunday school teacher and you wake up one morning with your life turned upside down by a bad boy rock star. That's exactly what happened in Running from the Rockstar. This rom-com has the perfect blend of tropes, wake up married, opposites attract, and the irresistible charm of a sexy, swoony, hilarious small town romance. You can find Running from the Rockstar available in Kindle Unlimited. Paperbacks and audiobooks are also available on Amazon. Okay. So you've tried a new to you author. Do you give them another try? Because here's where I'm at. I read a Cassandra Wilder. I think it was Cassandra Wild. Maybe.
It's just Cassandra Wild, I think.
Is it? And it was Friends to Lovers. First book I ever picked up, Friends to Lovers. And it was horrible. Seriously, the book had the word but 683 times. No
Did you search it?
exaggeration. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Because he kept saying, but. Or she'd say, I love him, but.
Oh, I thought you
Oh.
meant like but
B-U-T-T.
But.
I did too.
What the
I
F is
thought it
wrong
at
with
first,
you?
but then as she was talking, I remembered this conversation.
it's-
So
Because the loop popped in my head.
Okay.
But
and so-
anyway,
So,
anyway,
what are
But-
the criteria that you're willing to give another? Because obviously that was a new to me author, and she got a mark against her because it was Friends to Lovers, and it was Friends to Lovers
so
being
you went
idiots.
into it like already knowing that you weren't going to love this book, so you didn't really give it the college try there. My thing is like if the story isn't my favorite, that's okay, but if the editing and the structure was of the story was strong, then I will always give them a second try. Now, if the editing was bad, because I read a book by an author I'd never read, the heroine, her ex, was the father of her kids, and he wasn't involved. But then, like 6 chapters later, he was involved and he had a new girlfriend that was pregnant. And then, like 6 chapters later, there was like something different. So it's like the story structure wasn't right, and there were big holes and not it. So I never tried her again.
But what would it take for you to be willing to give her a try? Because honestly, one of my authors on my list to give a try again to is Lena Hendricks, because people really like her books, but she freaking said a Great Lake was coastal.
Yeah, but that's a personal, like
There
a
it
personal
is.
issue.
There
Because
what is.
something like that, where it's like
Stacy
a
said
wording
coastal.
choice. Yeah, Stacy did say coastal needed a spot.
Goes on the bingo card.
But that type of issue isn't as big as the fact that like the background of the heroine changed from chapter to chapter.
Yes.
Where does Lena Hendricks live?
I don't
Is the-
freaking know. But
Because see,
she
maybe
doesn't know
maybe
Great
wherever
Lakes.
I know, but maybe wherever she is at, is she in the States? Or
Yes.
is she
Yes.
European?
US
well, then-
based author.
Well, then I won't give her
I
grace
just
for that
so
one.
like my
'Cause they do
retry
things
author
differently
list
across the pond.
My retry author list is I want to retry Lena Hendricks, Laura Pavlov, because I've read 2 books by her and I found them just to be meh. I read Emily McIntyre early on in her career. I haven't tried her new series that is the current one that's Wrecked, Hooked, and all those.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
want
the
to try.
Happily Never After. The
Yeah,
Never After series.
I'd
Oh,
like to
jeez.
try those again. And then I have struggled with S.J. Tilly. I struggled with her Latte
Hockey.
Darling series
Oh,
and
those
her
ones.
hockey. But everybody talks about this Mafia series that it's so
Mhm.
great. So I want to give them another try, but I'm hesitant. So
Well, I think like the way you were like saying like about S.J. Tilly, like you tried her hockey and you didn't like it, but everyone talks about her Mafia. Like even some of our favorite authors, we know they write better in certain
Well, it's like you don't like
subtropes.
you don't like Charity Farrell's contemporary, but you really liked her Mafia series.
I did. Well, and I'm really
Which that new one comes out soon.
I
ish.
loved Jay Salmon's her Rockstar series. I really liked most of the Boston Billionaire, but that last one and this current series, I've really kind of hands off. And so I have to make a decision. Is this one that I'm kind of done with? Or is she one that I'm just kind of keeping an eye on if something amazing
Well, that's the
pops up,
thing,
I'm out for it.
because you read Layla's book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you like that one. So
was
she
okay.
might just be one of those piecemeal authors where you don't like clamor. Because I have a couple authors like that where I like their books, but it's not like I'm desperate when they come out.
Yeah.
But like if I
Right.
come across it and I don't have something to read, I'll read it.
Or they start a new series and you like
I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, maybe
yeah.
maybe this will be the one like that gets me back into them. But also too, with some of the authors that like I've tried, it's their earlier books where they haven't like they have like
Right.
their writing just hasn't flourished. And like, but then I'll pick them up in like a couple series and like their writing style has gotten really strong. They've gotten good editors and proofers and like they really have a good like balance that they didn't have in like previously.
Early on. What about you, Amanda? What is that piece that will get you to pick up an author that you kind of thought they're not for me?
I typically don't. Because
Okay.
if I'm reading somebody new, I will usually give them a couple of books. So
Mhm.
I will usually at least read a few books in a series just to try it. And if I don't like it, I'm generally not going back. So
One of the things that we sometimes use to help us, and we're hosting our New to You Author Challenge right now, and I think we'll have one in the spring, and we have summer reading. But I wanted to just draw a quick attention to Brittany, who is the Bookish Millennial on TikTok and Instagram. She's and somebody else started a challenge called the Baseline Challenge. The mission of the Baseline Challenge is to read a minimum of 3 books by BIPOC authors per month for the entirety of 2024 to make a minimum of 36 BIPOC books. In order to help form the habit of reading and supporting BIPOC books, they've created a challenge and prompts. Note, all romance-based, not all are romance-based. But they do have some good ones. Like January has Natalie Kenya's A Dish Best Served Hot as one of the prompt cards. I'll link the challenge and all their socials and are on the shelf show notes. But I was digging through their things, and like they're going to do body diversity,
Oh, that's
asexual,
nice.
you know,
Oh,
like
fun.
Mhm.
queer
Okay.
So they're
sexuality.
going like the whole gamut of it.
Yep. They're going to do able or disabled bodies. Like they're
Mhm.
really translations. So books that were originally,
I just followed
Oh.
them.
yeah. She's done a lot. She and whoever did it with her has done a lot of work.
Mhm.
So I'm
Oh, that's exciting though. I'm glad that they have that. Because I think that for some people, like it's harder to find those if you don't know what you're looking for.
well, yes. And also I think that like they had that 23 and 23 thing,
Mhm.
and it kind of
Yeah.
tapered off because it was kind of rushed at the end.
Yeah.
And there weren't really a lot of true directions.
Mhm.
Because honestly,
Yeah.
I am one of those kind of like, Jenny, you tell me what to read and I'm going to read it. I might
Mhm.
not love it, but I'm going to read it. And so these two have done the work to say, read this, because they have
Mhm.
book lists for each of their prompts.
Yeah,
That's
a
nice.
clearly defined challenge makes it a lot easier for people to follow along with. So
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and-
because that's part of the problem, right? Is like, hey, read more diverse, but I don't know how to find a diverse book. Like, what do I type into Amazon to find what
Well,
I'm
and-
looking for?
And that's the thing, Amazon's search engine for
Right? I'm
books
like,
is
you
so
might-
like
Yeah.
finicky now since they redid stuff, and it's hard
And
to
I'll
search.
also say, if an author isn't face forward, you
Mhm.
might not be able to tell by their name,
Right.
right?
yeah,
And then the other problem I know with me reading diversely is I have found certain diverse authors that I'm very comfortable with.
Mhm.
Mm.
Like I can read Kennedy Ryan. I love Claire Contreras, Zio Axelrod. I really am comfortable in her books. I'm comfortable with Natalie Kenya. I'm comfortable with Angelina M. Lopez. But there are other authors.
Yeah.
You know, I need to find their books too. It's just so it's just like saying
Well-
you said we could pick up any hockey book. There's somebody new writing a hockey book.
Mhm.
If I stay in my lane, I'm only reading Sawyer, Kelly, and Helena. But
Mhm.
how many other great books would we miss out on?
Tons.
Yeah.
But
Well,
not
but
icebreakers.
I like to work from a list though too. Like
Yeah.
if I can check it, like I'll print it
Yeah.
and check it because I'm old and I like to like check things off and not put them digital. So yeah, I
Yeah.
like
There
a
was
list that is
also-
provided for me.
there was also at the end of last year in Ophelia, I think Claire Contreras, Natalie Kenyon, Angelina M. Lopez were all part of that hashtag Latinx author chain.
Mm.
Mhm.
And it was 60 authors. So you can still search that. And they all did like intro posts, like kind of saying what their books were about. And that was another one that I put a bunch on my TBR from that.
It's helpful if you tell me who to read. Like that Maeve Black, Jocelyn Soto recommended her to me. And she was great. But she's not face forward. And it wasn't until I read her bio that I was like, oh, she is BIPOC and
Mhm.
queer. But she also wrote a dragon with a candy cane penis. So, bonus.
Oh, that one.
Yes. As you cringe, you're like, oh, that one. It was delightful.
I wasn't cringing. I was grinning. That might have looked like cringe on this video, but I wasn't.
Okay, so let's talk about what books are you looking forward to in 2024. I made a list.
I did too.
Okay, we'll start with you, Amanda. Give us some titles or authors that you are excited to read their books in 2024.
Oh, well. Okay, here we go. If you want to just interrupt me if you need to talk.
I'll tell you when we have
so
the same book on
Your
our
time
list.
is up.
Okay. So the first one is coming out soon. It's The Hero She Wants by Anna Hackett. I'm very excited about that. I think it's January 25th. Then An Unfinished Memory by Marie Johnston is coming out February 15th. That's Sutton and Wilder. They're actually divorced when this book happens, so I'm very excited to read that one. Falling for Mr. Bad by Melissa Foster, February 21st.
Oh, that one is, I'm excited for that one.
That one looks really good. And she's it's Sable and Kane. So I'm excited about that one. Then I have More Than Friends by Lulu Moore is March 1st. I'm obsessed with rowing. Like, so I can't wait for this book. Like, she started teasing like rowing videos on social media, and I was like, what are you writing? I'm like, I need to know.
Yeah.
Because I've been like obsessed with rowing since college. So I'm really, really excited about that one. What else do I have?
Okay, well, I'm gonna interrupt you because you missed a few that are coming sooner
go ahead.
than
Okay,
March. So we have I am super excited for Ward Willing that is coming February 20th.
Yes. I knew you were gonna say that. That's why I didn't put it on my list.
By Amanda Richardson. It's book three in the Ravage Castle series, and there's some sticky wickets of tropes in this book. But if anybody can make me like them, I am convinced it's Amanda.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be how you think it is. So
No.
I'm actually, like, I haven't read her. She's going to be a new to me author this year, but I am super excited for that book because that is all the things that I
Also,
like.
watch for an Instagram live between her and I to celebrate her release. So, that is coming. And then, Wiener Down the Way
Oh, yeah.
by Amy Award.
Yes.
I'm so excited for that.
Because
I don't have dates for anything.
I don't have dates for anything either.
That
Look at
one's
Amanda.
that one's the
Amanda
end
being
of
an
January.
overachiever.
Yeah, that's coming
Sorry.
soon.
Uh-huh.
And
Like January
Amanda,
29th or something, I think.
yeah, and Amanda and I have a happy hour with her on February the 1st. So, make sure you watch out. Zio Axelrod, book 2 in the Lilies is coming out. It's Girls with Bad Reputations. It's the female drummer book.
I love that cover. It's so pretty.
Finally, like, girl.
Forever. We've been waiting forever.
Yes, that was 2020 that we read the last book, and it was supposed to come out 2021, 2022.
And it got pushed back.
It
And it got pushed back. And it got pushed back.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that one. The new Kennedy Ryan, This Could Be Us, which is the follow-up to her last, what was the last one?
Before I Let Go.
Before I Let Go. I'm prepared to just cry my eyes out on that one. Okay, go to you, Jenny. Who do you got?
Cambria Herbert is finishing she did like College Swimmers. She's finishing that series, and the last one's a coach, which I think is always interesting when the coach gets a book. Maria Lewis is writing the book that we have not been waiting for, that we didn't even know was a thing.
She didn't even know it was a thing.
Right?
It's new in the hockey series, right?
Right. It's book 5, 6.
Yeah, book 5.
Yes. In the Blades hockey series that's coming out soon. I would love a new king if she is listening.
Yeah.
I mean, she
been waiting
knows.
a bit. I know she knows.
Leah, do you have anything?
Extra.
Like top 2 or 3? And then we'll go back to Amanda.
So Isaac from Penny Reed
Yes.
is finally coming.
Wait, is that the one that Lindsay's like is called Banana Pants?
No, that's a different
It's
one.
called
It's all folked up.
She was talking about him in the same chat, though.
Hold it up, but we have to wait until July, people. July.
Well, it's only been like what, 8 years?
Been forever. But yeah, so we finally get his story because you think he's bad, but he isn't bad, but he might be bad, and nobody really knows. But
She's like a triple agent.
Like, she has been teasing his character since the Banana Queen has been introduced. Actually, no, since the Winstons have been introduced, and like we met the Banana Queen and that whole family. And like, honestly, Penny Reed, if you can release it sooner, please do that. Like, I know life is insane.
What book are you talking about?
All Folked Up.
Okay, what is the Banana Pants book?
That is second gen from Knitting in the City.
Yeah.
It is, Quinn and Jamie's son, Desmond, and Fiona's daughter, right? Yes.
I think so. I think it's
Yes.
Fiona's.
And the book is legitimately called Banana Pants.
Yeah.
Correct. That is, if you got the Knitting in the City, like
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, it has a different title. It's like Neanderthal meets Ninja or something. Kind of like play it on the two families. But yes, it's Banana Pants.
Okay.
I think it's pants that have bananas on.
Sure.
Not-
Sure.
But it's Penny Reed, so we don't care what she named the book because we are excited.
Leah,
But
do you have
anyway,
another one?
So Lainey Hatcher, who is one of the only like she wrote in Penny Reed's world, and she has done historical, which I've actually enjoyed, and I'm not a historical person, but she is writing her first contemporary romance in 2024. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. Her
And
TikToks are adorable too. So if you aren't
Mhm.
following her on TikTok, her TikToks are adorable.
It's Kilby Falls, right? Or
Yeah,
like that.
something
like that. But I'm very excited for that because, like I said, she made me really enjoy those historicals. So
Okay, Amanda, go on with your bad list.
I don't know. It's not that much longer. I tried to shorten it.
Why
So
would you
I
do
also
that?
had, well, because I mean, we only have an hour. But I had Before This Ends by Aurora Rose Reynolds is March 1st. So I'm
Yes.
currently binging her backlist and I expect to be caught up by that point.
Can I just say I'm a little grumpy that Leah is not the heroine?
Oh, you told me that.
I know I did tell you. Leah's not the heroine. Everybody thought that Miles and Leah were going to be together, but they're not. And it makes me grumpy. But I know she's still coming because if she doesn't write a book for Leah, there will be revolts. Just say.
So
I
have her down for March 1st. So I'm hoping to be caught up by then. The way I'm binging her backlist, I should be. And then Eric's Refuge by Nissa Catherine, which is the third book in that trilogy, which I've been waiting to read until all of it is out. So I will be binging all three of those books on March 8th, or right before. And then probably I have two probably most anticipated reads this year. The first one is The Fallen One by Brittany Shaheen. That's Carter's book in the Falcon Falls series. That's coming out March 14th. So I'm very, very excited. She just released the name of the heroine in her reader group. So if you want to know, it's in there, but nobody's allowed to talk about it outside of the group. And then I have Rebel Without Claws by Juliet Cross. That's going to be her spinoff for the Stay a Spell series. So I don't know. I don't think there's a date on that one yet, but I'm excited about that.
No,
And
because she's
then-
working on that
right.
other series she has right now too.
Yeah, that one. And then but I think she said she pushed back the Wraith King till later in the year because of her schedule after she got some feedback. So Rebel Without a Clause will come out before that now. So I'm excited about that one. And then Riley Edwards has been teasing Wilson's book from the Take Back series, and I am dying. I don't know when she's going to put it out, but I will be excessively stalking her until it does come out.
I
So,
mean,
I do it anyway, but it's worse right now.
Say, I of course can't wait for the next installment from Nevaeh Alta. I really like that series, the perfect, imperfectly perfect series or whatever it's called.
Imperfectly perfect.
At First Bite by Olivia Dade. I'm really excited to see her leave the Hollywoods and she's going to just contemporary. I'm really excited for that. Sawyer Bennett has a small town series coming that is horse country, bourbon country.
49 minutes for that one to come up.
You're terrible.
Is it when's that, April?
April, yes.
Okay.
We might get it sooner, but I think it's April. Karis, which is Sadie Kincaid's in the Chicago Ruthless series. Carrie Ann Ryan and the Wilder Cousins. There's a book I have, the Carrie Elks book that's one of the brothers, the Salinger brothers, comes out in January, but I need that book too in the Hearts and Creek Next Gen series because book one was so spicy and so good. Natasha Madison is going back to hockey with her Meant for Stone. And
I'm very excited about that book.
because it's Romeo Maid for Romeo, it's his sister.
Sister.
And Stone is a little bit of a golden retriever, like desperate for her. And
I'm
she's
so excited.
not
It's
Sunshine.
gonna be really good.
She is not Sunshine.
She's gonna be one of my favorite heroines, I think.
Love, Lies, and Cherry Pie by Jackie Lau is on my must read this year. Helena Hunting has a new contemporary adult hockey series coming out called, I think book one is If You Hate Me.
Yes, I think so.
Sidney Carger, who I read his debut in 2023, he has The Bump coming out.
Ooh.
It's a gay couple and their surrogate on a road trip.
Okay, I was like, is there a bump or
Nope. It's their
I'm wondering where
surrogate on a road
Where that
trip.
was coming in.
That sounds really good.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds like
I sent this to Leah last night. The new Sarah Bale.
Yes. Yeah. Did you send it to me or did I send it to you?
I thought I sent it to you and then you shared it to your stories.
Oh, okay. That was
Lindsay would be mad at me if I didn't mention Walk of Shame by Avery Flynn, which is the follow-up to Anger Bang. Molly McLean put up a pre-order for book 3 finally in her Small Town series. She put that up today.
do we know who the hero is?
That's the younger brother. That's the one.
Okay.
And who gets together with the
Oh,
divorcee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
gonna be
she's
real good.
older.
I am really excited.
Yep. It's age gap, but she's older. Erin Nicholas has The Reluctant Royals. She'll be writing as Erin Nicole. There's quite a few royal romances coming in 2024, so I don't know if
There are, yeah.
royal romances is becoming a thing again, which I'm not sad about. Did you guys see the cover for Natalie Kenya's book 3?
Oh my God.
Yes.
I
I am
cannot
so
wait.
excited for that one.
Cannot
so
wait.
excited.
It's gorgeous. I need to order book 2's paperback, but now I'm like, okay, can I just have book 3 now?
I'm really
Yeah,
excited for that
I've
one.
been stalking NetGalley to see if that arc drops on there.
Just let me know when it does.
I will.
Truth According to Ember by Danica Neva. So this
Oh.
is a debut novel debut romance by a indigenous author. And she writes an indigenous romance. Like it's contemporary. And I'm very excited about that.
That
sounds
cover is gorgeous.
Intriguing.
The cover is gorgeous. The Bang Brothers. It's 5 hockey romance authors came together to write a series together about 5 brothers. And it's Jamie Davenport, Kat Mazzara, Gina
Izzy, Elise Faber, and
Kelly.
Jameson.
Oh, how did I miss this? I didn't know anything about this.
Yep.
They announced it like a couple months ago, and was a Kickstarter, and they haven't really said anything since.
Yeah. The community is excited for The Bride by Allie Hazelwood. The last book in the Bergman Brothers by Chloe Leese, Only in Forever, comes out this year. Swift and Saddle by Layla Sage, and the new Elsie Silver series, Rose Hill, is coming out. Okay, do you have a list of new to you authors that you hope to read this year? Anybody?
I mean,
I'm gonna read Carrie Elks this year because I haven't read her yet.
How have you not read her yet?
Because I kept putting it off.
Okay. Somebody in this chat's getting kicked out.
It's not going to be me. No, I have a list, but it keeps getting bigger.
Jenny, do you have any new to you authors you hope to read this year?
I don't have any like specifics. Again, I think I'm just trying to look for more diversity among the authors. So,
if I look at it, last year we did pretty good with finding new authors. We read Hannah Bonham Young. We, we checked out quite a few. We just need to be better and push more. I have on my new to me author list, Tal Bauer. He writes Male Male. Tara DeWitt, I've not read her, and I know everybody just really likes her books. Brighton Walsh, she's been kind of nigging on my radar a little bit for a while. Her and
I've read a couple by her and I've liked what I've read.
SM West is another one that's kind of been on my radar a little bit.
Mm.
Katrina Jackson, Dylan Allen. I have not read Lauren Asher. No, that's a
I have
lie.
not read
I was
Lauren
gonna say, you
Asher.
read
That's a
the
lie.
You read it.
Yeah.
And he
I did. I DNF'd it. Never mind.
No.
Maybe she's one to give a new try. I
There
have her
you
new
go.
book on my Kindle.
Yeah, you did not like it.
I did not. I haven't read Savar Miller and I haven't read Anna Hong.
I read a one by Anna Hong not too long ago. So she's new to me in 2024. I'm not sure how I feel about it still.
I might wait for Anna Hong and read her new
The
soccer series
kicker.
that's coming
Mhm.
out, the
Oh,
Striker
yeah.
series that's coming out at the end of the year. I might
Mhm.
wait for her on those. And then, of course, I have my author retry list. New to you authors, Amanda, do you have a list?
I do. A lot of it's like the stuff that we put on our QSR list. So I also have Tal Bauer, and Heather has a whole spreadsheet that she gave me for MM that I'm planning to look at this
Yes.
year. So if you
Heather loves the
need
spreadsheet.
if you need any MM recs, check out Minnesota Hockey Mom Reads. She has tons. So
Speaking of MM, just to interrupt, Max Walker has his book
Oh.
2 in his like fantasy series coming
Urban
out.
romance fantasy thing he's
Yeah,
doing
it's
now.
called A Ruin of Shattered Secrets. I'm really excited for that
Lindsay was obsessed with book 1.
one. Mm-hmm.
oh yeah.
So if you like dragons and gay men, it's a book for you.
Well, and Max is a delightful human being, so you should just read it anyway. Even if you don't like dragons, like in your romance.
Okay, so it's now time. Guess what time it is?
It's that time.
Oh, here
It's
we
that
go.
time.
For book
Book
of
of
the
the week.
It wasn't as good as usual because
No.
it was a hot mess tonight.
We are kind of a little bit of a hot mess. Amanda, what's your book of the week?
Okay, so my book of the week is Until Harmony by Aurora Rose Reynolds. So
Good
I'm
one.
binging that series. I really like that one. It's a family series. It's Harmony and Harlan. He's actually kind of a blue collar hero. He's a mechanic. He's also in a motorcycle club.
Mhm.
And Harmony's she's a nurse and she just kind of doesn't really realize that he's into her. And so he kind of slowly goes about it and she thinks they're just friends. And of course, then they have that moment where he's like, we're not friends. This is like,
You're mine.
I'm trying
You
to
are
get you naked.
mine.
You're mine. You belong to me kind of thing. And there's a kidnapping in it as well. So I think that's been my favorite out of my binge for her this week. So I really like that one. And if you like an overprotective hero, like in a short book, these books are fantastic. It's in her Until series. Until Him, Her.
Yeah,
They're so
because
great.
it's the second gen.
Yes, it is.
Um,
But there's only 4 books in the original.
Mhm.
yeah, it's not terrible.
Mhm.
Jenny, what is your book of the week?
The Craving in Slumber by M.L. Philbert. Again, a Becky recommended author. This is book 2 in her Fractured Fairy Tale series.
I think I have this one on my Kindle.
Yeah, she does really well at doing fairy tale retellings that aren't cheesy
Yeah.
or just enough Easter eggs throughout to make it. This one is Sleeping Beauty. The first one was Cinderella.
Yeah.
I was gonna read book 3, but there's an overarching storyline that I was like, oh, I need to know.
Kind of do. And I will say a shout out to Stacy because it was Stacy that put ML Philpott on my radar. And actually, that was one of the main reasons I bought an author in the Bluegrass ticket
Good call.
because she's going to be
Thanks,
there.
Stacy.
So, Leah, what's your book of the week?
My book of the week is Boone by Laramie Briscoe. It came out yesterday, I think, and I like it. It's very low angst, but the storyline is good. It's an age gap. The hero was a early in life dad. He had his son at 15, and he and his wife did not have the best relationship, and so he has not really dated since then. And the heroine's she just got out of college and she's kind of floundering, and it's one of those stories. Like Laramie Briscoe, she doesn't have a ton of like internal angst. They actually have conversations like adults and like normal human beings should. Like it's nice.
It's nice.
I needed it after like the chaos of the past week.
My book of the week is What Happens at the Lake by Vi Keeland. This was phenomenal, great mental health rep. It deals a lot with overcoming tragedy and finding love in relationships. And it was so good. You know, I'm a Vi Keeland stan.
Mhm.
There's no, I mean, she writes it, I read it. Because she does not have like an ARC team and she does not give out ARCs. So you get like exclusive invitations to her ARCs. So it's like an honor. She emails and is like, hey, it's not her, it's her PA. She's like, hey, would you like to receive an ARC this time? And I'm like, yes, please.
Well,
Thank
what I
you.
like too, though, is it's not the same people all the time getting the arcs either.
No, it's not.
It varies.
So, and this is an absolute standalone. And I think that's the other reason that I do really great with Vi,
Mhm.
because it stands alone. Like I don't have to read 50 other books to get up to this book.
Did she write any series?
Technically her Cocky Heroes went into series, and she and Penelope are writing a series right now
Oh,
together.
that's right. That one is a series.
They
But
usually
even I was
do
gonna say, even
series,
they
right?
usually.
I think they do more series together, right?
Yeah, they do more series together.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a new segment. We are just introducing this for 2024. And this is actually the segment that Amanda gets to manage because I'm a hot mess. So, Amanda, do you want to read to them what the new segment is? Do you have the doc up?
Sure. Hold on. Let me get back down here. I was copying something over. Okay. I'm getting here. Sorry. Where are we at?
New segment under
There we
Book
go.
of the Week.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we have a new segment. Can you guess the book? Each week, we're going to share a quote from a recent or popular Buzzing About Romance read, and you have the chance to win. So email your guesses to quote@buzzingaboutromance.com, and we will announce the correct guess on next week's show. Did I get everything?
Yep,
Okay.
you got everything. So, and we'll link this
You
on
have to say
the
the
shelf show
quote.
notes.
I'm going
Well,
to.
We'll
I just
link
wanted
this
to
on
make sure I got all
on the
stuff.
shelf show notes. Email us your guesses, and then we'll let you know the title of the book in next week's episode, and if anybody got the quote right. So Amanda, what's this week's quote?
Okay, so this week's quote is, "Do you sing songs, drummer dude?"
Okay. If you think you know what book that is from and what author wrote it, send us an email to quote@buzzingaboutromance.com. Patreon update. Celebrating 1 year in the Hive is Amy Sutton. 2 years in the Hive is Jenna.
Yay,
3 years is Susie A.
Susie.
Leah's bed partner,
Mhm.
which is just
That's
awkward
right.
now that I said that.
It is,
Yeah,
but that's
just a
okay.
bit.
Anybody who knows us knows what it means.
Swag Pack should have hit your mailbox this week. Our Swag Pack sponsoring authors for January are Sienna Snow and Kaylee Winters. Books that I think you could read to start with these authors if you've never read them before. Check out by Sienna Snow, Masters of Sin, Gods of Vegas Book 1. I really liked that book and that series. And Amanda, you read The Street Kings, not Gods of
Yes.
Vegas.
Yeah, I read Street Kings, and I think you can start with Dangerous King too, if you want. That's the one we did the quick shot on.
I like Sienna Snow, but check out our Patreon for our current thoughts on things.
Yeah.
Kayleen Winters, she has a Rockstar series, and it's interesting because it's like 6 or 7 books. Each book is a different couple, but they all take place in the exact same time frame.
Oh.
Oh,
So you kind of have to read them in order. And if you aren't sure about her writing style, that can be slightly intimidating. So
That's an interesting.
Yeah.
right. Are they
process.
friends? Like,
they're all in
are
a
they all
band together. They're all in a
Okay,
rock
so
band
they're
together.
all connected, and all of them are
And like the
going-
timelines are congruent.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. And
That's a
they're
good way
good.
for
They're just
All your
That's
friends.
You just kind of
not
have
be
to read them all.
available. Yeah.
I know, but that's also a good way to make me real mad if things are wrong.
Well, it wasn't. So, I mean,
Okay.
it was good.
Well, that's good to know. I will add her to my new to me list because I've never read
Yeah.
her.
But actually, The Hate Date is a standalone Hollywood romance, and she's still writing in this world, and it
Mhm.
absolutely stands alone. And there is a super, super, super spicy elevator scene,
Ooh,
and they're a little more mature couple.
nice. I like that.
So that was
Like
also
like a Matt and Liza elevator scene or better?
better.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, I
Better.
was going
Who
to
is
ask what
Matt
the
and Mila?
Oh,
Matt and Liza from the Mary Carr book.
Tempted
Oh,
and
okay.
Taken.
Mm-hmm.
Those people were horny, so
Yes,
horny.
they were. But it was
Um,
delightful.
Swag packs go out to Fancy Drinks, Cold Brew, and Queen Bee tier, and we still have fun buzzing about romance exclusive stickers, mood reading cards, and other fun things. Maybe a bingo card in February. They are mailed monthly around the 10th of the month, and we do ship these internationally. The perk is mailed only once monthly. If you join after the 10th, first swag pack will be mailed the following month. Because of you, our amazing Patreons, we're able to bring you 3 episodes a week, and we are still working on our goal of 75 members so we can plan our first ever book retreat. That being said, watch Patreon for a post as to where you can find us at different book signings in 2023 or 2024. New year, Becky. All members of Patreon get exclusive episodes along with perks like Buzzing Book Club. You can find a list of all of our events at bookcaseandcoffee.com/events, including happy hours, IG lives, and book clubs. And we have so many amazing events coming up just in the next couple weeks. So make sure you check that out. And special thanks to author Jamie Albright for sponsoring our episode. Don't miss out on the laughter, the love, and the small town charm. Head over to your preferred platform of Kindle Unlimited or Audible to grab a paperback copy and dive into the Brides on the Run series today, starting with Running from the Rockstar. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time.
Happy reading, everybody.
Find us on Instagram at Buzzing About Romance or on Twitter at Buzzing Romance. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join the Bookcase and Coffee Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.